I want to kind of tell you guys a story. A lot of you don't know me personally, and for those of you who do, a lot don't even know because it's not something that you just talk about. When I was about 13 years old, I met this kid. We met at the carnival that we had every year in the town I used to live in back in Idaho. Come to find out that this kid was actually my high school really good friend's cousin. Anyway, one day we didn't date very long, and I honestly don't really remember much about being with him. I literally think it lasted probably 2 days. Here's the story why. I met his mom one day. I went to his house, and she was the type of person who, she liked you to eat whether you were hungry or not. And I understood that rule because I had that rule in my house growing up too, with all my friends and my brother's friends as well. So I ate. I'm super shy, so I do not like eating at other people's houses, or at least I didn't. So it was really hard for me. So I ended up eating, but it wasn't a lot. Anyway, later on, we ended up going up to his room, and I was watching him play video games. I don't remember what game it is, but he showed me around his room, and when you go up the flight of stairs, it's the bedroom that's right up front. So you walk through the door, his bed was right here, and then he had his TV off to the side. Well, I guess it would be this way, but anyway, we were sitting on his bed watching TV, and before we went upstairs, I was actually texting my best friend from middle school, and I was telling her that this kid and I were dating, and she congratulated me. She lives in Washington, but she had moved, and she congratulated me and everything, and so she was happy for me. And I was also at the time texting this other boy who I was not really supposed to be friends with, but I was texting him and his cousin. During the entire time that I was at his house, I was texting these guys. So when we were upstairs, after I got done watching him play video games, he turned it off for, I can't remember if he asked me if I wanted to play or not, but he had turned off his game system, and we were hanging out, and next thing you know, he tried to put moves on me, and I was only 13. That was a no-no. Basically, I told him no. I verbally told him no, and he kept persisting. There was a point in time where I was actually pinned down a couple times to the point where I could not move, and he's obviously stronger than me. And I was yelling no so loud that his mom was outside, and she was in the garden at this point, and his window was open, and she says his name, and then she says, "Is everything okay?" I thought I heard somebody say no, and he says, "No, Mom, everything's fine." During the time that I was actually pinned down and not able to move, and I was verbally telling him no, I was texting this guy that I just had mentioned, and I was talking to him and his cousin. I was holding a normal conversation as if everything was okay. At one point, it actually scared me so bad that I kind of hinted at something, and they said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Well, kinda." And they said, "Do we need to come to town?" And I was like, I think I'm going to be okay. Vividly, like I said, I'm not sure. Everything's still a little vague. Anyway, he had proceeded after he spoke to his mother, and he had tried to remove my clothing, and it did not work. So he had pulled down his pants, and this is the part where I was pretty terrified. At that point, he heard somebody calling his name and coming up the stairs, and it was his sister, so he jumped up really quick, pulled his pants up, and then he says, "It's my sister. She doesn't like you, so just stay up here." And I was thinking, I don't even know who your sister is. So I think it was just an excuse. He was kind of, worried or whatever. I don't know. But I took that as an opportunity to leave. So I had run out the house and left. Well, when I live about a mile, if so, from where I was. So in a small town, that's really not that far. So when I had got home, I was pretty shook up. I had texted my friend who actually lives in California, and he was the only one I had told. And then, well, him and then the girl that I was texting when I was over at my boyfriend's house, this part got to me later on down the road because at such a young age, I didn't really process this the way I should have. I had actually told her, and she had texted me back, and she had said, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry that happened to you. He tried to do that to me too. It did not click. Sorry. It did not click into my mind until I was about 17 or 18. She had actually went to jail for a little bit, and there was a couple of spits throughout our childhood when we weren't hanging out. One day, I finally realized when I was with my ex-husband before we had gotten married, I looked at her and I said, I actually texted her out of the blue, and I said, I can't do this. She said, what are you talking about? And I said, everything that happened with, I know it's been years, but it's just now clicking. Why? Something seriously could have happened to me. It could have been way more serious. And all you did was congratulate me. I was so upset. But the point is a lot of people don't know this story. And the reason mainly why I was so afraid to tell it was because I didn't even tell my parents until I was 18 and with my ex-husband. And I was sitting at my house one day and I was talking to my childhood best friend. And things were going on in mine and my ex's personal life. And she told me, well, does he know? And I said, no. So I